Chris.
Ratatouille.
Oh, adorable.
It came up
Man,
in
I wish we had watched
Wikipedia.
Ratatouille instead of this.
Yeah.
Okay, someone's got to pick a Pixar one of these days. That'd be fun.
Right.
Take everything that I said about making the last movie and have that be the opposite for this. This is the movie I was afraid that I was going to make because it is so goddamn unfocused, and it just it's there's like 8 better movies that are hiding behind what happens in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather watch a 2-hour documentary about any of the people who are mentioned in this, about any of the things that are mentioned in this, than this movie, which just fucking ping pongs off of everything and has something to say and is never actually capable of saying it because it doesn't know what it is. It is so unfocused. Like, I forgot about the rat czar by the time he comes back, and at that point I didn't fucking care about him. Like, I
am 100% in agreement with Tad on this one.
No, I'm actually going to put a counterpoint up. I think this film is one of the things I like about this is halfway to pure cinema. It's an idea about rats and Baltimore, poverty, the things they described in broad tones, and it moves around a lot. It talks about a lot of different things. They don't necessarily connect because things in life don't necessarily connect.
But they're trying to connect it.
25 minutes of filler in this movie, and it's only 82 minutes long.
You point. Okay, tell me what's filler. Tell me what's filler in this, Chris.
The movie is
shots of
trying to
CG
focus.
fucking bad Google Street View in 3, like all of that could go. There's so much shit in there. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I would have cut a third of this movie out.
He's trying to draw all these loose parallels or connections.
It's not that hard of a job. This is an easy.
Wow.
It's not. No, it's not.
People angry.
And the movie that I kept thinking about when I was watching this is Wisconsin Death Trip. Wisconsin Death Trip is the movie that does this better. It takes 25 fucking weird goddamn stories and pulls them all
90
into
minutes about
one.
this guy. That's all I want. 90 minutes in him.
Yeah.
90 minutes.
Best thing in the movie.
90 minutes about the thing that's behind.
There have been
Scott.
there have been documentaries about this solely.
Yes.
And then
I'd watch a short documentary about that lady's dioramas, but that was like weird in
90
here.
minutes 90 minutes about the fucking dioramas.
What the fuck was this?
Yeah.
What was this? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we're just going to show this guy sitting on the couch for 5 minutes and then cut away, smash cut.
And I thought for a second that might be the guy who shows up later on who also has the rats, but it's not. Like, it's so fucking like
you could literally just do
I got one too. What about
the rat killer?
What about the avant-garde musicians who looked like they were
behind Scott a minute ago? Everything else, get rid of it.
Yeah, you could do the rat hunters, all the rat hunters.
And then there was
that guy.
What about the band?
The whole fucking movie.
What about the musicians that had the rats that looked like they were going to set them up to play the theremin at one point? They were playing like experimental music. Mm-hmm. We never got to actually see what they were doing or find out who they were.
The person who made the video game, the Oculus video game about playing as a rat, like, that just comes into the movie, exists for 4 seconds and disappears. And it's like, what the fuck was that?
What was the NASCAR stuff? Like, what did that have to do with anything?
Oh, the NHRA?
NHRA.
I have no idea. Okay, even then, I'm baffled by that myself.
I have no idea.
But I think it might be a big part of Baltimore's like cultural life.
There is
at least white Baltimore.
The drag track is in the city.
Yeah.
One thing.
I think a lot of stuff that we think is random is actually kind of a Baltimorean would go, oh, or whatever Baltimoreans.
I don't know.
Well, this guy is a Baltimorean.
Yeah.
There is a very profound story to tell about systemic racism, and I mean, there have been other movies about this where it's like city planners setting things. That's that map behind.
Yeah,
stuff.
like the redlining and stuff.
Oh, by the way, if you're going to talk about redlining, maybe your line should be red and not fucking
that was
pink.
also
Pink. That was weird.
As a graphic design, like what did I like? Yeah, they're like this should have been an easier story to tell.
This is a layup. This is a layup.
This is a fucking layup, but this film
just
could not get out of their own goddamn way.
Yeah, he's trying to make it too artsy.
It's just endless pans of Google Street View. Why?
There was a lot of that, and I have no idea. It went a little too.
So much
also, another artistic element is on purpose having the robotic female voice, so it sounds sort of like one of those, movies you saw in school, like in high school or something. That's definitely deliberate and on purpose.
I think that works. I think that works at various points during the movie. But again, the problem is it's not enough of anything. Yeah. It's just a bucket with a bunch of rocks in it, and you're picking through it and hoping you find a clam. Like, it's not. Right. It's like I wanted to like this movie. Like, at the beginning, I was like locked in. I was like, okay, tell me this story about the rats. And what happens is,
and the music's good. Dan Deacon's good.
The music is fantastic.
Okay, this is the version between, like, this is a dial, and then one thing is documentary. You're going to tell him, you go watch, like, The Smartest Man in the Room, or you're going to watch, like, Harlan County, USA. These are very factual documentaries.
Right.
Sure.
There are other ones that are like Baraka, which don't necessarily make sense.
Pure cinema.
Pure cinema. This is somewhere in the middle. This has a lot of artistic flights of fancy.
The problem with it being somewhere in the middle is it doesn't do either thing well.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put up a comparison right now. Do you ever see Roger and Me?
Sure.
Oh, there's a lot of shit in that film that does not necessarily address the problems going on in Flint.
But I think he does a better job at the end of the day,
because he's funny and charming and personable. That's the thing.
He did to Detroit.
There's a lot of crazy shit. No, in Flint, Michigan.
No, his problem is he puts himself in it too much. Probably it's too much.
Maybe Jim loved this movie and he got.
Where'd he go? Oh my God!
Like,
back, Jim.
John, you were going to say something. Though.
I found this movie
I'm enjoying listening to everybody else bag on it because I got a bunch of notes I wrote down. I hadn't seen it either. Again, I picked this without. Okay.
Again, I'm not blaming you, man.
Sometimes
you need to stop doing that.
But
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it works, and I'd say it kind of worked. We just had a great discussion about Dig, but here's, in my defense, I hadn't seen it, and here's what Canopy plugged it. When Canopy wrote the blurb for this that made me pick it, it says a unique blend of history, sci-fi, poetry, and portraiture. And then there's a review in the trailer. The trailer's great, by the way.
The trailer's very good. I saw that.
One review said, this works in the spirit of Chris Marker, Agnes Varda, and Werner Herzog. And if you watch the trailer, it looks amazing because it
really does.
There's a Herzog file feel to it, that's for sure.
It has all this stuff in it. It had the potential to do this, and it struggles mightily to connect the dots, and it never can connect the dots that it's trying to connect. I think the stuff with all that Google Street View stuff that was driving Chris crazy, and I agree, there's way too much of it. That's interesting, but it's also ugly, and I didn't want to look at that much.
I wonder if there was just a thing at the time. This is 16, right?
We're all in an artificial environment. We're all
but it keeps saying like
some kind of connection.
It keeps saying this is a video game. It's Google Earth.
It's not a video game. They keep calling it a video game.
Well, what was it? What was the state of it in 16? though? That's the question.
Every video game already had better graphics than that at that time. Right. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I'm asking. I'm not
telling. The other thing I'll throw out there is that had this filmmaker done their job correctly, I would have felt not just for the poor people living in fucking Baltimore.
You would have felt for the rats.
I think this movie could have made me give a shit about the rats.
I felt for the rats. I felt for the rats.
But there could have been a lot more of that.
That's you, Scott. That's not the film.
I felt for the little pink baby rat.
Hey, guess what? That's not a fucking rat.
It's a mouse.
That's one of the more annoying things about this movie is that there's 2 whole sections in this movie that are about goddamn mice.
Okay, I think you broke through here.
Speaking of the trailer, though, I'm going to take a screenshot because I was going to send it to you, John, and Scott because there's a font that they use that I love.
Oh, well, see if we can find it for you.
I thought, as the resident graphic artist, it might be that one. It's definitely in the trailer, and I thought, as the graphic artist in the bunch, you could identify it because I want to steal it.
So after the show, we'll see if we can do it.
That looks like the Rammstein font.
So okay,
we're progressively more and more irritated the longer it went because I just felt like this was a layup and he fucking whiffed it.
Scott,
absolutely.
You were talking about like straightforward documentaries like Harlan County USA, something like that.
Yeah.
I wrote in my notes. I said, when you're watching a straightforward documentary, it's easy to judge quality. Is it interesting? Is it informative? Is it insightful? Is it well structured? Is it well shot?
Yeah.
But with something like this, you're on this shaky ground where it's like, well, I guess that's supposed to be poetic right there.
Is this the filmmaker's a statement? Is it a vision? Is
Yeah,
it
this is
something
very.
more
This movie
random?
is well
Is it more
shot, though.
spiritual?
It's a documentary.
It is well
The
shot.
thing is,
well shot.
we're kind of far afield for this thing because it is a personal statement. In a lot
It's
of
an
ways.
essay and it's poetry. So how
No,
do
it
you,
is.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
it's
That's why I have
abstract.
to give it some leeway here. And
You
the thing
can
is,
judge a
no,
movie-
I'm gonna make Tad's argument for
It's
him.
very well reviewed.
In a
for what
situation
that's
like
worth.
this,
It's
maybe
too well reviewed, Chris.
because of the social issues at stake here, maybe this shouldn't have been so avant-garde. Maybe it should be telling people what the problem is here. I agree with you there.
Yeah, there's so much interesting stuff that we could have been enlightened about.
Literally,
In
just
2016,
around for 90
a
minutes.
YouTube video essayist would have done this better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, maybe.
But you also can't tell an artist
This
what color to
guy-
paint
this
with.
guy,
And
I love-
people are going to
That's just
do what
it,
they're
Jared.
going to do.
That's right,
and-
Jared.
and-
Jared, you're right. This is not a straightforward documentary. So it comes down to like, well, I didn't like your poem.
Yeah.
Right. Like
So
this
I-
guy's trying to make something a little abstract, a little artistic. Did he get in his own way? Probably. What,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
guess
was he
think
trying to
Maybe
he-
this guy was like totally like he loved all that weird like.
yeah, he's like, I'm going to
stuff.
make an art
Like-
film, but it's going to be a social
There
commentary about
was a
racism.
there was a
and-
neat moment in those watching that ridiculous, badly rendered CG of the going to the streets where it broke open and you saw the stars behind it.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
like,
I put that in the preview because I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
but when
but-
it's done, it's like that has nothing at all.
don't read too much into that. That's just like the fucking.
That's the
game
that's the
engine.
problem is how many times I was like, this has nothing to do
with
with
I
what's
know
going
that's the
on.
problem.
Including the race car thing at the beginning, and
They're
they
just chewing up time. I could have listened to this guy.
Yeah,
the poem about the egg, and they show the race car, and it's like, you know what? You could show it twice, but it still doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
when he talks about like all the pets that he
It's a
has
creation, man.
or had,
Yeah.
when he talks about how like you get closer to God by having pets, like that's fascinating. Like I want to hear more from that guy's perspective about that stuff. The scene that he has where he's talking to the woman and she's talking about how like, oh, I switched from peanut butter to barbecue sauce.
That was
like
great.
yeah.
like
Yeah, that
the-
guy's
the
an
scene-
interesting character, and you know,
the
was
scene at the
awesome.
very beginning where he's like, this is a what does he say, like
It's
they
never
have
been-
to.
never had a rat problem. We have a people problem.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
true.
but when he's talking about the poison and it's like
How it gets
this
on their
is-
fur and they have to lick it.
Yeah,
right, like
Grooming.
he,
Right.
yeah. I'm going through this right
like
now.
this guy is so interesting and he disappears from the movie over and over again, and it's like, no, bring that guy back. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
like it could have just been him and the redlining stuff. Like you
Yeah.
could have done the
Yep.
entire movie with just those.
Again,
like, you
that
could
would
have
that
your
would that would
weird-
drag it back into a Harlan County, USA straight
because
documentary.
You could have your weird art film stuff with all of the maps and the colorations
Mhm.
and the weird robot voice and all that stuff, but you have him as the grounding factor in it to pull it back down to earth about what's going on now.
So in other words,
and
it
you
could
could
use
even include the weird like John Hopkins doctor stuff too. Like you
That
could
was
have
fascinating.
that was
Right,
wonderfully
you have-
creepy.
Awful,
all
but
of that
fascinating.
in there,
Mhm.
and then you don't have to have the guy playing the fucking flute with the rat on his head. Like it's
Mhm. Okay.
Fluid reboot is weird, man.
Well, we're
No, and again, like had you done what like Tad's describing, you would like. There's a way you end up with a profoundly depressing movie probably, but you could get to the last act, and I am now feeling equally bad for this guy who has to do this fucking job. The people who are just like trying to keep rats out of their fucking yard, and all the dead rats. I would feel equally awful for all of them, and I think at the end of the day, that would have been a more successful movie. Instead, I'm like, what the fuck was that?
right, and then you get like Blackfish.
Thankfully, it was short.
or-
It was fairly short, yeah.
It was very
but
short.
filled with filler.
Well,
Here's the
okay,
thing.
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
When
this
we
is a
saw-
this is a
when-
this is a 50-minute movie that is somehow 82
Yeah.
minutes.
And then, you've been actually making an argument for this thing to be edited a couple more times. I think you're right. Probably could use more editing.
Maybe could have been a
Or a
short.
little more content. So,
Yeah.
Jim, you've been
This could be a 1-hour Vice documentary.
Jim has been so quiet he disappeared for a while. What's up, Jim?
Yeah. You know, as bad as this movie is, I enjoyed it way more than the other one. which was just
Wow.
about
I'm not-
actual two-legged rat.
I'm not surprised.
I
You like the
love
rats
it.
better than the rock stars.
Yeah,
Dandy
and
Warhols, rats.
yeah,
Yeah, but not rat.
and
Rat
Chris,
is worse than
Brian
Dandy
Jonestown
Warhol.
Massacre.
Yeah, Jim.
I don't feel sorry for the rats. Fuck them.
No,
I will
seriously.
say. I will say.
There's
one
the
thing-
clip.
One
You're
thing
probably
I wanna
right.
one thing I want to point out is that I live in Seattle. One of Seattle's nicknames is Rat City. We have an absolute metric fuck ton of
Oh,
rats
sure you
around
do.
here, and I would still rather hang out with those rats than Anton.
Than the Brian Jonestown Massacre.
Brian,
No, I grew up in Santa Cruz, and there were no rats at all in the suburbs.
actually, the
right?
Brian
I
got
Jones
San Francisco.
Massacre guy
In San Francisco, it
seemed
ran
like the
movie
kind of
theaters,
people
and
who would have rented at Bisaville.
yeah,
Every
right.
once in a
Right.
while, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta go get the shovel because there's a giant rat head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would find rats at the
There's
Alexandria
rat
Theater that
head.
were 14 inches long.
Ugh.
Oh no, the
Seven
rat,
inch by
that-
seven
part-
the rat. that
Well,
belongs to the
2.5 of these
head-
kids.
Yeah.
The part where the guy's doing the 25 ounce
cans.
natty ice
Yes.
can bit
That was pretty
took
funny.
me back
Well,
took me back to my
you use
childhood.
something that's familiar.
It took me back to my childhood of going to the Union Square Farmers Market in New York and seeing the rats that hung out on the edges of the farmers market that were the size of fucking chihuahuas.
Yes.
Like
As big as rats can possibly get, basically.
No,
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Oh.
I had to fling a head into the because that we have rats and mice where I live, but they get taken out by either the hawks or the raccoons or the foxes. But I found a head about the size of my fist,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, shit! I just did like that rat must have been like this big without the fucking tail.
My
I was
sister. Go ahead.
I was in the subway. I was in the subway one time, and
It's a rat.
I was looking for the train. You glance down to see the train, and I thought I saw a cat going across.
Oh, no.
That was not a fucking cat.
It was a rat.
Like,
No, my sister lived in
Yeah.
Inwood.
I also
I
lived in
saw-
New Orleans. I also lived in New Orleans and San Francisco, two of the other most
Yeah, yeah.
rat-infested places on
ratty.
the planet.
Yeah, my sister lived in Inwood for a while. You know Inwood up there, right? North tip of Manhattan. And people there throw their garbage out their windows. And so basically all the buildings have garbage 5 foot deep around the outside.
Garbage
And you look
on
out the
the
window
roof.
and it's like a traffic jam of rats all day long. Just
My-
you know,
That's
everything.
disgusting.
My
It's
buddy
insane.
and I were walking down 7th Avenue one time,
Uh-huh.
and we took a turn onto a side street somewhere in the 60s,
Mhm.
and there was one of those brownstones that has the main
Thing and the step down to the cellar.
and it has the step down to the cellar,
Yeah.
and a bunch of cockroaches were running out of the cellar, and then several mice ran out of the cellar, and then one fucking foot-long rat ran out of the cellar. And I turned to my friend and I said, whatever the fuck is down there, we don't want to know. Keep walking. Like, whatever scared New York cockroaches, mice, and rats out of the cellar of this building is an elder god.
Right.
Like, we're just gonna
Cthulhu.
Keep walking.
Yep.
I was gonna recommend this. I forgot
Chupacabra.
to recommend this before we watched this film. Did you ever see that short they made with Ratatouille, narrated by Patton Oswalt, about the history of rats?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a
Norway
clip-
rat.
I'm gonna put up a link to that because it does a better job explaining how this is all happening basically, and it's all animated, so it's good. All right, let's call it. Okay, we should call it at this point.
I mean, fuck no.
No.
I had liked this avant-garde thing, but I think that Tad's right.
I give it a half point because it tried to do something original.
Yeah, there it is. That's it.
I tried and failed, and I don't respect that.